Hello, and welcome to the We Are the Nerdic podcast, episode 58. Oh, we don't remember these. I am your host, unfortunately. I am Sims. This is Daniel. We all know Daniel.
Hello.
We are joined today by a very special guest. Please say hello for Mr. CeasarTowers.
Hello.
Is it Towers
thank you.
Towers?
So CeasarTowers is my online persona.
Okay.
CeasarTowers is my real name. So it's either one is fine. They're both CeasarTowers is the English version of CeasarTowers.
Well, you learn something every day.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. Tell us what you do for the community.
For the community, not much. No, I'm just kidding. What do I do? Isn't that the ultimate question? What do I do? Why are we here?
Yeah, why?
What do I do? I make a show called Patch Notes. It's basically your weekly update on video game news you need to know about in about 50 minutes or less. And I do that with my friend, and it's it's a show about video game news and stuff, but it's also a show about our friendship. And it's just really fun, the connections we have over really funny, stupid news. Recently we were talking about what was it? Somebody has a world record for the smallest N64, and it's just our interaction based on that story alone was just a lot of fun. So yeah,
Nice.
It's just a fun short weekend catch up on your video game news you need to know about. And I do other stuff too. I do community watch alongs for the FCF games, and I do trying to guest on other more podcasts, which is why I'm here. Yeah, just kind of muck around a little bit.
Nice.
You have a great.
When do you post? I was just gonna say, when do you post your show? When is it post?
It posts Sundays. There's no real time for it, but just Sundays. We basically do it so you can start your week with it. So Mondays you can listen to it on Mondays, or you can listen to it on Sundays.
Exactly. Nice.
You have such a good idea. When I heard the premise, I've heard you somewhere on a podcast your idea. Where have you been? Are you sponsored or
Patch Notes?
I've heard of it before. Have you been?
No.
I've heard of something it's such a good. I remember hearing the idea of all
Ace's Wild Podcast.
Pardon?
Ace's Wild Podcast?
No, not that one.
I was on that show.
I have got the. I have subscribed to that one. All the gaming news in so many minutes.
So basically, it's not an original concept. It's just we're just doing it our way. So you might have just heard somebody else do it before. It's very inspired from I don't know if you know what Inside Gaming is.
Yes.
So basically, it was it used to be this machinima thing, and now Rooster Teeth owns it. And Rooster Teeth used to do this show Funhouse, yeah. They used to have this channel called The No, and then The No turned into Inside Gaming after they got the rights to it. And they have this weekly roundup at the end of the week where they do the weekly news, and that's kind of where I got the idea of it. But it's not really that either. It's it's our own thing. But
Done a great job with it. It's such a good idea. If I could squish this hour and a half podcast down to 10 minutes, it'd be great. All the information into ears. Because it's so accessible as well. So some people look at an hour and a half podcast and they think, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, and that's where it came from. I was talking to a friend, Erica Ambolina. She was like, I wish I could listen to games daily, but I can't because it's too many. I don't have 5 hours in a week to listen to video game news. And I was like, how much time do you probably have? And she's like, maybe 30 minutes. I was like, I'll do you 15.
I'll do you one better.
I'll do 15. Because it's really, we were talking about this right now. Games daily is a lot of fun, but it's a lot of fluff. And it's
they got to make a show out of it.
Yeah, they got to make a show. It's just the nature of things. It's how they design their shows. Greg Miller can talk really well, and he just knows what he's good at. But a lot of people don't have that kind of time, which is where Patch Notes comes in. It's 15 minutes every week. It's not 15 minutes every day. It's not an hour every day. It's not an hour a week. It's just 15 minutes at most. Because like most of our shows run like 8 minutes now. But like I think the longest one we've had is 15. For sure.
Short and sweet. It's all it needs to be.
100%. I was gonna ask you a question. So we spoke. I reached out to you. I always ask everybody. I always ask everybody 3 things. I need your email address. I need your Discord, and I need to know your favorite game. And everyone always goes, "Why? Why do you need to know my favorite game?" It's like the hardest question in the world. And we make everybody to make them feel welcome to the podcast. I say we make. I say Natalie makes a very special. I call it lower third. I think lower third's a bit more technical, but it's basically just your name bottom of you. And your favorite game is Stardew Valley.
Yeah, okay, that was not the first game I said, but yes, it is one of my favorite games.
I've been dying to talk to you about Stardew Valley, so let's have 5 minutes. Me and
really quick fun fact. You know who I talked to Stardew Valley about? Joey Noel.
Oh,
fantastic! Wow.
She loves Stardew Valley. We talked about it. I don't know if you know who Simply Sassy is. I was on the show where we interviewed her, and we talked about that for like a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, we had Kameo on last week.
Oh yeah, he told me. Yeah. But yeah, Stardew Valley.
I reached out to Simply Sassy. I said, "Oh, is it possible for me to get on the show?" And Gage.
Yeah.
He come up with a great idea. I won't spoil it, but the premise, hopefully the content will come in. That's come in months. He's a very busy man. They're always pumping out fantastic content. But I'm really looking forward to being on the show with him. The idea he had was an amazing idea, so I'm really excited.
I can imagine what it is from what I know. Yeah.
So I genuinely can't wait.
But yeah, Stardew Valley. One of your favorite games. Huh?
My favorite game. I've got too many favorite games. Like my meme comment is greatest game of all time, and it can be Spider-Man on the day. It could be Last of Us, God of War.
Your favorite game is like 20 games.
Yeah, 100%.
I have a list of like 5 games that like any day of the week it could be either one of those games.
What are your 5 games?
Celeste is right now. It's up there. Stardew Valley, Breath of the Wild, Portal 2, which we were just talking about before we started, and I always it's either 4 or 5. I keep forgetting what the 5th one is. Which is a great sign for how great of a game it is.
you really love this one.
Yeah, I love that game. As soon as because I have a bad memory, so it's like as soon as I remember what it is, I will know what it is. Oh, Spider-Man PS4.
Good
Because
game.
I played that game when I was like in a really bad place in my life, and I just needed like a nothing game. And to me, Spider-Man was that nothing game, but it also like filled me with so much happiness. And it was like, yeah, I played it.
That's a joyful game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spider-Man's my favorite game. I'd say Spider-Man is one of my favorite game of the time. Like, if someone come up to me with a gun in their hand, I was like, "What's your favorite game?" Spider-Man. I bought the special edition console. I remember when it first got announced. I remember literally counting down every day, looking at the calendar, thinking, "I've only got 7 more weeks. I've only got 6 more weeks."
Spider-Man's that character that, like, you either have to nail it or you don't bother trying it. And Insomniac nailed that game.
100%.
They really nailed what like Peter Parker is. They really nailed Spider-Man. It's just like the whole vibe of New York City.
I mean, I won't spoil the ending, but the ending is sad on its own. Even the reveal as well, the obvious reveal. But I remember when it finished and the credits rolled, and I was sat there crying, and I was like, I wasn't crying because of what happened. I was crying because it finished, and I was like,
because it's over.
I was like, I finished it. It's over. I can't believe that this experience is over. And then obviously when they announced Miles Morales is incredible as well. I could talk for hours. With Stardew Valley.
I could. Yeah,
Stardew Valley. So me and the missus, me and Natalie, we everyone seems to be playing Stardew Valley. I think she was watching a certain streamer, and she was like, "We've owned it for years. I played it a couple of years ago when it first got released on consoles. I remember seeing the PC version. I was like, this looks really interesting." Anyway, so we put it in January. We put it on in January, and then we played it all the way until March. So we don't have that many hours because we've got children, 120, 130 hours worth. went for the platinum. Heartbreaking story. So they not long released the DLC for the console versions. I think it was like right at the beginning of March, end of February.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
before that actually, probably a lot before that. But anyway, so that added to the trophies. Added to the trophies. So you know the fire sprites in the volcano.
Yeah.
So we had the trophy for killing everything on the list in the fighting guild. Well, that glitched for Natalie.
Oh no.
So like, and we were really upset about it, and we really wanted to play it. And then the only trophies we had to get was the stupid mini game in the arcade machine.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, have you done it? Did you ever do it?
No, and it's because I played on my Switch, but I do want to get the platinum. So that's something I'm planning.
Do you think you could do that trophy? Do you think you could do that whole game, that whole mini game without dying?
Which one?
The
the shooter.
The shooter, yeah.
I would need to play a lot of it.
Honestly, ridiculous. How many hours would you say you put inside of it?
About maybe 200.
Wow.
I would say.
And who is your favorite villager?
That's the thing. Because I married Abigail.
I'd never liked Abigail.
But I don't think she's my favorite. Like, because I married her, because it's really, you can marry somebody really quick.
Yes.
And like how quickly you can marry somebody, you can really reevaluate, like, oh man, did I make the right choice?
That's like life.
Like, real life. Yeah. I married Abigail, but I think I liked Leia or Penny. Those are my two favorite, like, romanceable NPCs.
I went into the game. I played it a couple of years ago, and I literally just focused on making money. And then we went back to it, and we were like, if we're going for the plat, so we spent like one whole week of literally finding everyone's love. So we printed out a spreadsheet, laminated it, and we were just passing it, passing it forward. Like, every day, you give everybody what they loved, and obviously it unlocks cutscenes for every character. And I never realized how deep the game went. And obviously, like, with all the issues that each villager has, so got the guy's name, but he was like really suffered with depression. Like, stood at the edge of the cliff face, and you just like the game just like, I remember talking to these guys about it. It was like the game is so deep, but like every character is so memorable. Like, I'll never forget these characters. Like it just like hits. And then it's been that long since I played it.
I'll never forget the characters. What's his name?
What's her name? She sits by the bus stop. She sits by the bus stop, always late. Don't get me started on that woman.
Pam?
Pam, always late, never on time for that bus.
10 minutes, yeah.
She has one job. Like, she goes to the bus stop, and then she goes and shouts at is it Penny in the caravan?
Penny's her daughter, yeah.
And then she goes to drink at the saloon.
First of all, she what she does for a living is she drives a bus. Second of all, she's an alcoholic.
Yes,
I'm not getting on that
bus. Yes, exactly. That's what I said. And I remember, like, I remember saying to these guys, I was like, this lady was an alcoholic. Like, it was just like, I was like, as I started to play it and noticed her patterns and noticed that she always went to the saloon, her favorite items were beer. And it was just like, this woman's got like as an issue. And then obviously, I could talk for hours about this game, but it hit different. Like, the game was incredible, and I especially experiencing it with Natalie, like, every day. Like, we look forward to playing it. Like, we would stay up until stupid o'clock in the morning, just like she would look after the farm, I'd go and do this, or sometimes I'd have to go look after the farm, and she would have her own like job roles. And then I remember when we first started, I'll just like work on fishing. I'll get fishing to level 10. That fishing game at first is the hardest thing in the world, but once you master it, like, it becomes like muscle memory. It's ridiculous. I used to be able to just do it. I sometimes wouldn't even look at the screen. I'd just go on the vibrations.
Yeah,
incredible game.
There's some like groups like on Facebook or Reddit where people just all they do is complain about the fishing, and it's like, just the more you play, the easier it gets. Like, I don't know how to tell you.
I really enjoyed the fish. Really, really.
I have a friend who all he does is fish. Like, that's all he'll do in that game. Literally, that's all he'll do in that game is just fish.
It's a fishing game.
it's one of those things where it's like you could literally just fish every day, and that could be your game.
Yeah. Trying to catch them legendary fish. Ridiculous.
Stardew Valley is definitely like that game where it's like the ultimate like simulator game. Because like you can farm, you can mine, you can fish, you can romance somebody, you can ride a horse with a sombrero on its head. Like you can do so many like different things with it. Like it's like a really, it's almost like a perfect game. Like it's really, they keep releasing updates to it. Like you can buy Pam a house.
Yeah.
Like you can upgrade her house and like you can
For like
do so many things.
100,000 gold though. Like, let's not talk about
Yeah,
like, why is
but
it
like
so
you,
expensive?
but like you, it's like a story thing too.
Yeah.
It's like you can, if especially if you're trying to romance Penny. But yeah, it's like it's a lot. There's just a lot you can do with it. One of my favorite things that people can do with that game is like they can romance like every character,
Yeah.
and then like once you get to like the 10 hearts or like the max hearts, all the characters that you romance of the same gender will talk to each other. They'll have a meeting and then they'll gang up on you and be like, "Why are you cheating on me?" It's so funny. Like
We did some because we were trying to get all the hearts up, and we're like, do we need to give everybody flowers for that to get the 10 hearts or whatnot? And he said no, but I think it must have been like a really old like forum, because like beforehand, it's I don't know, they must have updated it, and then then we looked even further into it, and yeah, they're all like busted, like, and they were just like all the females or all the males will just give you a massive lecture. It's so funny.
yeah.
Connor wants to know, can you send the bus driver to rehab?
She needs it, bless button socks.
She really does.
I do. Pam was like one of my favorite characters, and then you can. I'm guessing there's a mod where you can have like scarecrows.
Scarecrows?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway, on to the show.
Yeah.
So, we are. I'll go through the spiel again. We're Nerdic Gods video game podcast. We will we go through the weekly video game news, and then we will then begin to talk about what we go through the news first. I'm not very good at this. Connor's like nailed it, and I've not done this in so long, so I'm like the cogs are rusty. Like Connor's just sat there like wrong. So we'll start with the newest news. Square Enix about 3 hours ago had a big presentation, just showing off what they have in their lineup for the upcoming, I would say the next year, but I'm guessing what to look forward to in the next.
They announced a new one or another one in the summer, so this will be the latest until the summer. Yeah.
Okay. Daniel, can you go through it, because I can't find anything that tells us.
Sure. I don't really have it pulled up, but they showed off another pretty long trailer for Outriders.
Oh God.
They kind of broke it down. I think it was a little too long of a trailer.
Too long. It was way too long for this trailer.
It was a long trailer. They kind of talked about the story. They talked about the characters and the world and kind of what you're doing. And yeah, it's pretty much it.
I hate in presentations. I hate when they like. I love developers. I love video game developers, right?
Yeah,
they work so hard to give us such masterpieces of games. But during like presentations, during like showcases, I hate when they give a developer like, here's 20 minutes, talk about your game, and have a very boring sequence going on and no music, and just make it as uninteresting as possible. And that happens like in almost every presentation, except for
every single one, except
for State of Plays and Nintendo Directs. Nintendo Directs, they have like under 30 seconds at most, I think, if they do that.
Yeah, they had it was that dodgeball one.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, that was
6 minutes for this Outriders trailer.
Honestly,
it was a long trailer. It was long.
They literally went over everything. If you bought. This was basically their last final push to make everybody either buy the game or get it on the Games Pass. And they'd literally gone over everything that people would know if you played the demo. And the demo's been out, what, 3 weeks now? 2 weeks?
It's been a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I guess, it's that last final push. Everyone's going to have eyes on the Square Enix presentation. And, why not put it in the first... people are going to have to watch this. Obviously, either they're there for either Life is Strange or they're there for Avengers. Because that's what we knew of. Yeah, right. 6 minutes. 6 minutes is a bit too long. Like they went over all the classes, they went over the story, and it's not interesting no disrespect to the game, it's just not interesting. They're trying to sell it as best they can. Oh, we're the guys that made. Yeah, 100%. These are the guys that the voiceover was like, these are the guys that made the spin-off Gears of War game. We're the guys that made the Bulletstorm game. It's like, yeah, we know. Like, show us a trailer, tell us it's on Games Pass, and then move on. I feel.
I do want to shout out. I'll just tie in the other story into this. Is Outriders will be day and date on Game Pass, which I think is great for the game.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really good news. Especially if that is a game you are looking forward to, and you just or a game that you want to play, but you don't know if you want to buy it.
Is 60 too much for that game for you? Right?
Yeah.
Instead of 15 or 10.
Which is like where I think like Game Pass and PS Plus are great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think like you can definitely show too much of a game. Yeah. Last year there was that like weird like Doom music game that like had Troy Baker.
It's like BPM or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. They showed it in like 4 showcases, and every showcase they talked about it for 5 minutes. And I was like, I don't care about this game. Like the first time you showed it, it was like a 30-second trailer. I was like, okay, fine, I can get into this. Everything else after that, you talk too much about this game, and people are losing interest in it fast.
I think that's the problem with too many people trying to do shows and not have an E3.
Yeah,
I think last year
cohesive like show.
Last year was just too much. I think last year, in a weird way, proved the E3 in some way needs to exist, consolidate announcements.
Yeah, it's just that thing of like, there's no. People are saying it's cheaper to do their own thing with E3. I'm sorry, this is like totally off topic.
No,
but it's cheaper to do their own thing.
It's okay.
It's cheaper to do their own thing, so more companies are not going to do E3. Like one of the things that I learned is like one of E3's partners is adamantly not going to be a part of E3 this year because they'd rather do their own show than pay the 6-figure entry fee.
Yeah, so that means they'll create a 20-minute, 30-minute show and have one announcement and a couple of trailers we've seen before. Like that's just not a good show, That just seems pointless to me. But
going back to the Square Enix thing, it's like Square Enix is a really weird developer for me because I don't really look forward to Square Enix games that much. If it's like they make good games. They make good games, but they're not like the game where I go to like. They're not the studio where I'm like, oh yeah, this is a really big announcement. I don't know. That's just me.
Do you have something to say, Sims?
Yeah, going back to you were on about the shows, and I know we're talking about Square Enix, but like, if E3 died tomorrow, and then someone says, and then we kind of carried on this trend of like, I'd say like I think like 2-3 weeks ago we had State of Play, we had Nintendo Direct, then like 2-3 weeks later we had this Square Enix thing. If this could keep going, if we could have every 2-3 weeks like we have either a Square or a Ubisoft or an Xbox or some other what's the company that doing the JRR mounting?
From Software.
From Software, yeah.
Yeah, like if they did their own thing, like if we had something like all the time, because stuff like this just gets me going. Like I love all day. I've been just like I can't wait for this Square Enix thing. I know it's not going to be great. Yeah. But I'm a big fan of Avengers, but I know it's not going to be fantastic. But to sit down for half an hour and unfortunate for me, I just didn't watch it because I watched it late. But my internet died, and that's another problem. But that's first world problems for you.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
My thing is with that is like there's certainly like I have this issue with like oversaturation with events like this, which is like I only have enough energy for there to be like enough time in between each announcement, because really what we're watching is advertisements.
100%.
Like
pretty much.
And it's like if I watch a lot of these, I feel really bad because I can't buy every game. As much as I would love to buy every game that looks awesome, I just can't buy it.
Yeah, going back to Outriders, like I played the demo. My friend Sam was like, let's play Outriders. I was like, all right, let's play Outriders. It's from the people that made Bulletstorm.
Bulletstorm.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, yeah, this could be fun. But I played it, I picked it up, and he's like, the first thing he says is, the story's not interesting, skip the cutscene. You're not doing, I'm not, you're not selling me. And then you play the game, it's just like, it wants to be a Gears of War, it wants to be a Destiny. What does it want to be? Like, it just seems like, the guys that made the game have gone, what's popular? well, people like Gears of War, people like Destiny, you know, games as a service games are all popular and everyone likes to play them, and that's the big money maker. And now we want to, and then they've gone, well, no one's done it no one's done it like the Gears of War way. Let's do that. Oh, and let's put classes in there. It just doesn't work for me. Like the gunplay felt fine, and I sit here and I say this, and then it gets announced on Games Pass, and I'm like, well, it is crossplay, and I don't have to pay £60 for it.
Yeah.
Maybe I will play it. Maybe I will play it with my friends. So.
And that's what we were just talking about, like where it's coming to Game Pass. It's like, is it a game I would want to play? Is a different question than would I pay $60 for this game? And yeah,
right.
it's just a thing people need to consider.
Yeah, definitely. So next announcement, we have the Tomb Raider Survival Trilogy, all 3 games, all the DLC. It's only $20. That's a great deal. That is almost a steal if you ask me. Like, man,
so
people need to pick that up.
Kumail, speaking of him, he sent me something earlier today. Let me see if I can find it. He got an email from Square Enix. Basically, like the oh, you said Tomb Raider. This is Lara Croft, very different, but still, they had said like if you follow and mention Square Enix in a tweet, they will send you a code, a promotion, like to get Lara Croft, Temple of Osiris,
yeah.
Osiris, and another Lara Croft game that I can't really read the title of, which is really weird that they were like doing this promotion for that.
Huh. And I think they're just celebrating the 25-year anniversary.
Yeah, it's the anniversary for it, and they were like doing it in honor of the event today.
That's cool.
Yeah.
A fun fact for you. So I live in a town called Derby, and Lara Croft was created in Derby.
Oh.
We have our own road in Derby called Lara Croft Way.
Cool.
I'm not sure, like obviously the game's not made it, but I think the premise of Lara Croft was like created in Derby. So
concept, yeah.
All the triangle boobs and stuff like that. You're welcome.
Thanks for that. Thank you.
This,
we got. You have something more to say?
Yeah, quickly. Like this was leaked. The one thing that really got me going, like I know, like Daniel, you really don't like Fortnite. Caesar, I saw you streaming Fortnite. I'm not sure if you're a big fan of Fortnite, but you obviously the day the Fortnite season drop, you wanted to check it out. I don't understand this Primal thing. They kind of had it nailed down with like the bounty hunters last week or last season, and now this one I don't know. They kind of I kind of feel like they don't know what they're doing themselves. Like I feel like
it's an evolution of the bounty hunter season. Where it's just like, because there's still bounties in the game. There's still NPCs in the game that you talk to for missions and stuff. It's just like they just add a lot of weird, more like mini bosses that are like okay to have. But the thing is, when you get these mini bosses, you get this item that you need to take to the center of the map, and once you take it there, you get a really cool like triple jump boot thing. There's like you do triple jump and you can redeploy your glider. This whole season is really weird. It's a really weird concept. Like you can hire wolves to be like your attack dogs and stuff like that. And there are chickens, there are warthogs in the game that you could kill for meat. It's crazy. This
because why not?
Yeah, and you can upgrade tools like in a workbench in your item thing. It's really weird.
Huh.
I mentioned Fortnite because they announced the Lara Croft mansion in Fortnite, which is like really nostalgic for me. Like everyone remembers Tomb Raider 2, or I think 1 didn't have it. 2 definitely had. And just running around the mansion. I'll happily jump into that and just see if they are doing it like for like. See how they did it, because I know they did it in one of the last Tomb Raider. Just a quick nice little nod to Tomb Raider. Like Tomb Raider celebrate, is it 25th or 20th?
25th, I think.
Like 20. That makes you feel so old.
That's the other thing too. Lara Croft is in the battle pass, and she has like 3 skins. It's like one is the most modern version of her skin. The other one is like I think it's like her 10th year anniversary skin, and then like the other one's like the original polygon skin. But it's not like super triangle boobs. Like it's not like but it's like it's the concept is there.
It has the spirit.
It has the spirit of it. It's just not as pointy as I would like for it to be.
All right, so let's move on. Oh, I'm gonna move on past these ones real quick though. The Just Cause mobile game. It looks like it's 4-player co-op. I'm not sure.
What? Do you not have phones?
Great, thank you for the joke. I hate that whole thing. Okay. Then we got the Hitman Sniper, which was a weird. What is it? Hitman Sniper Assassins. I don't know if that's the actual title.
Hitman is Square Enix.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a. We don't know what this game is. It's coming out this year, which is weird that we don't know what it is. But they show like a couple of Hitman agents unboxing a sniper rifle. I'm not sure, but it is coming out this year. All right. It's weird. I guess IO has that property, so they must have had a license Square to do this, which is weird. Doesn't make any sense.
You guys should have had Rahul in this episode. He loves Hitman.
I played Hitman 3.
We should have.
But like, that's interesting. I didn't know. I completely forgot Hitman was owned by Square.
Not anymore.
It's not anymore. No, this is the confusing thing about it. Like, is it IO Interactive?
IO Interactive.
They went and did that. They were I guess released by Square Enix, and they were like and Square were like, yeah, take it. Take Hitman with you. I don't think we got any plans of it. So IO made it its own thing, and now this is why Hitman's such a phenomenon. And then Square Enix have just like, I'm guessing they still own the rights to the Hitman. I don't understand.
No, they don't own any rights.
It's confusing, though, isn't it?
Hitman 3 is self-published, so
they must have just a good relationship. They might just have a good relationship with them.
Probably.
Yeah. Probably. Not everything has to be after a breakup. Not everything has to be.
No.
Toxic.
They share custody. They share custody.
Of course, yeah.
Like, you get on the weekend.
Yeah, Agent 47 at the weekend with his little bag and his PlayStation.
You get like the main like series games, like you get like the title games, like the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, the 4s. We get like the weird knockoff like sniper games. So
Go.
That's how this relationship. Yeah, him and Go.
Forgot
about that. Fuck.
Yeah, him and Go. Yeah.
Sorry. Is it okay if I cuss? I'm sorry. I totally.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh no, it's sweet.
Okay.
So there was like.
I want to make sure for like the 5-year-old audience you might have. I don't know.
Fine. The kids are asleep. Let's start.
Oh, okay.
The kids are.
Got it.
It's a late night episode.
They're not asleep. They're awake.
Yeah, there's a couple of weird like bubble things. I don't know. That was whatever. Then we got the Avengers thing. They showed a little more Hawkeye and how he played.
I wish I had Caesar. I am the Greg Miller of the Avengers. Like, I love the game. Put 200 hours into it. Every character's level 50. Every character one. Okay. So I got every character to 130. And I've got loads of resources, because when you get to 130, it's a bit more of a grind. It takes a lot of resources to get into 150. But I was like smart about it. I was like, I'll keep them at 130, and then when I do want to use them, and then maybe they release new items and whatever, I'll take them to 150. So all my characters are ready, except for Kate. I've not even finished the story for Kate. The plan is tonight play Kate straight onto Hawkeye. It was like, I can't at that point after 200 hours and seeing the game not progressing, you kind of think, well, I'm gonna have to put this down for a bit, because what's the point? I had a good time with it. I was really excited for Avengers. Same kind of story with Spider-Man that we'd spoke about. I just like Marvel. Like, I'm just a massive Marvel. Like, it's
especially like the recent like MCU stuff. It's like really brought an uptick in like Marvel love. For sure.
It's just a nostalgia thing. Like, we never got around. Like, Spider-Man means a lot to me because my dad really likes it, and I kind of was like, my dad likes it, I like it. Like, me and my dad don't have the best relationship, but like we share like Spider-Man. I don't know. It makes me sad. But I can't really comment on it. It kind of went. I expected a bit longer on it. Everyone kind of saw it yesterday. I got really excited on Twitter yesterday. Everyone
was the Hawkeye stuff or the Kate Bishop stuff?
Well, everyone tweeted yesterday because they'd seen I think they'd seen this yesterday. Some of the press.
Yeah.
They'd all tweeted out, "Oh, I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do with the thing." So I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get quite a bit of a chunky thing today." We didn't get as much as I thought. Like, we got a bit of a roadmap, with not many dates, and then we got Black Panther at the end, which was like, this is
that's cool.
Like, a bit of a trailer. See Black Panther for what he's gonna look like. See Wakanda and Wakanda, and then it come up with Summer. So I was like,
they said they didn't even say summer for that. They said later.
In the roadmap that I've seen either on in the blog post, it says summer.
Yeah, it said like summer and beyond or something.
So that kind of just like, you know, shoots me in the thought. You know, getting the power, you know, getting the power level to 160, that going up. That's all good stuff. I'm excited. I'm gonna play Hawkeye, see what happens, put it down again, and I keep waiting for the patch for Stardew Valley.
It all looks good.
Honestly, every day I check.
The Avenger stuff looks really good. As somebody that's never played it, but I also just think like we need to take a break from games as a service games. Like people just need to stop making them because it's like the audience that is interested in the games is not a lot. There's not that many people that are super into games as a service games. There's not that many people that are committed to play just this one game for the rest of their life. So to try to capitalize on that and make many different IPs like Anthem, for example, and for them to fall flat on their head, it shouldn't be a surprise. Like, because Destiny nailed it, right? But that's because like they have a history of making like games like Halo and stuff like that. Like Bungie is really good at making games.
I mean, they're the first really ones to do it too.
Yeah, they really paved the road for anybody that wants to do it. So it's really weird to like see like games like Destiny 2 or Outriders, like we were just talking about right now. It's just like try to
Division
grab onto that, like latch onto that. Yeah, Division 2, and then Marvel's Avengers 2. Which is why it's really easy to look at this game and think that it's dying, because it's like, yeah, they don't have as much audience interest as they would have liked to have. So like they're not going to put that many resources into it anymore. But they say they're committed to it, so we're just gonna have to wait and see how long they're really committed to it for. They announced Black Panther and they've announced Spider-Man for PS4 or PlayStation, so they're committed to a certain extent.
I watched the video.
Hopefully it lasts a while.
I watched the video yesterday, and he was one of the guys I got to get to be in the presentation with one of the developers. And the developer he says, you know, when we put the game out, we expected everything to just run smoothly, and then we could just keep knocking out content, you know, keep giving it, and didn't realize how much problems the game had. So they kind of
has that person never made a video game before?
Well, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It was very glitchy.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what they had a problem. And they were like, right, we got to stop making content. We got to fix the game, and obviously that's held it up for 5 months.
If you're making a multiplayer game, I would say your first bet you should always assume is going to happen is that it's not going to run well on launch day. Like it's just because you can test your servers, but once your game launches, you're never ready for that.
No, and they did all right. They released the beta, and we had, you know, a rolling weekend beta. When I put 200 hours into this game, I keep moving my head around, losing focus. But when I played this game, I was 200 hours in. I was in the community. I was following the data miner Miller with like 1,000 M's. I was contemplating making my own podcast on the Avengers, own content. Like I thought I could dedicate myself to this game. Like that was my idea. Spoke to a few people. We had some good, you know, we had some ideas, and then I came across someone who was doing it anyway, named Hyruler. He had his own. Just his whole YouTube just dedicated to it. We did a podcast and we talked about the future of the game. After 200 hours, like I said, like you just said, like against the service, I just couldn't dedicate. After 200 hours, I was like, I'm behind on so many games now. Like I just can't dedicate time to games as a service. Like that's why I don't play Destiny. I played Division 1 and 2, probably put over 300 hours in. That was my favorite. I'm more of a third person shooter than a first person shooter. I don't like first person. I think.
And the Avengers thing is really interesting because it's like $60 and you get every character, right?
Yeah,
for free. Which is a cool like idea. It's a really cool concept. But like when you see that and you see like all the content that's in it, like once you commit, you've got to commit.
At first, they were promising the world, weren't they? Oh, don't worry, you'll have Kate next week, Hulk the week after, you know, monthly. And then Black Panther or Spider-Man, you know, and obviously there's been data mines where we've seen who they wanted to release. We've seen what's coming. I saw the Black Panther model 4 months ago. The Black Panther model that I'd seen today, I'd already seen it. Like that's how.
Really?
Like, yeah, like there was Miller on Twitter, killing it. Like he data mines the game. Like developers are aware of him. Like. They have a certain like a weird respect for him. It's just it's crazy. We could talk about it all day. But Hopefully, it just doesn't die. It's got Marvel next to it, and maybe in a year's time we're talking differently about the game. And I know people are like, it's not good enough. That's not right. This is, we deserve more. We want more, etc. I've seen this. I'm only 30, but I've seen this now for the last 10 years. I'm okay with it, but that's just me.
Yeah, and clearly they have a roadmap, so they have an idea of what they're doing now. A stronger idea, a stronger ability of what they're able to do at that studio with the game. And hopefully they can stay up to date with it. Who knows? We'll see.
Moving on, Daniel. Up next.
So they showed another Balan Wonderland trailer.
I think they need to stop.
I was just gonna move on. That's all I wanted to say.
How much money have they put into they must have
too much.
Like very quickly, they must have just had like a budget, and then they've spent it, and then obviously these trailers are made ages ago, and obviously they put the demo out, it got really bad reception, and then it's just like, I'll roll with this.
They've either put too much money in this game or not enough. Because it's just
I'm leaning towards not enough. They probably just have a big marketing budget.
They probably put a lot of marketing. Yeah, they probably put all of it on marketing. Then they've said they're gonna like tweak some things, like make the movement speed faster and other stuff like that. From what I've seen of this game, that's not gonna be enough. Like people have so many issues with this game. Like one of the early things people commented on was like the movement just makes you want to throw up.
That's not a good sign for a platformer.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's not. What else have we got?
So let's move on from that stinker. They showed off. Yeah, they showed off Life is Strange: True Colors by what is the name of them again? Deck 9.
This is one I haven't. Oh, so it's not.
So it is not Don't Nod. It is Deck 9, which Deck 9 did Before the Storm.
Okay.
But it's not clear whether this is Life is Strange 3 or if this is like an in-between game. It's not too clear.
I would say it's like probably a filler from the sound of it.
I'm getting that maybe Don't Nod is making a proper third game, and this is another like smaller in-between game. You play as Alex Chen. She has her special power is the power of empathy. She can kind of sense what people feel. Seems fun. Seems cool. Got a good vibe.
I haven't seen this yet, but from my understanding, it's like it's called True Colors, right?
Yeah, True Colors.
If I understand, on Twitter, somebody said that she's bisexual, which I think is really cool.
Yes. So in the trailer, or in like not the trailer, but I guess in the presentation of it, you have two options for romances, a guy or a girl. And which is interesting because that's it seems like a choice that you don't really get a ton of choices in Life is Strange because it is pretty narrative based.
Excuse
me. No, go ahead. The fact that there is this romance choice, I think, is pretty interesting.
And in the art for like the thing too, it's like the colors are pink, purple, and blue, so it's like you would allude to that. Also, I think it's really cool how. Yeah, it's very vibrant. I think it's really cool how inclusive this franchise is. It's just very like many different stories. Like nothing's really off the table.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. They deal with pretty much every topic.
Well, like they're trying to at least. Yeah, they're really.
They're trying. They're trying to. Yeah.
They're really branching out, and I think it's going to work really well for them. As far as like how many Life is Strange games can they make? We'll see. I don't know.
I mean, they're doing a pretty good job of just introducing new protagonists, and like they're trying to keep it fresh that way. So, I mean, I don't know. I love Life is Strange, the whole franchise. So I'm down to keep playing more games. In this game, they also said is going to be released in one chunk. So it comes out September. I forget the exact date. It's like September 9th or September 10th. So it's still gonna have chapters, but you can play it all in one sitting. Like you're not going to wait week after week. So it seems like they are kind of learning that you shouldn't do a whole year of episodes. You should just kind of either put it out week after week or have people play at their own pace.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah. And then the next Life is Strange announcement that they did was Life is Strange Season 1 and Before the Storm are going to be updated and remastered and put into one collection.
Oh, that's cool.
Fall. Yeah. So I guess they're going to do new animations and new
updated models and stuff like that.
Models, yeah. Which is really cool. More people need to play those games.
Steve, have you played them?
I've seen a lot of gameplays of them.
Yeah.
So it's like
I watched Natalie play them. And me and Natalie.
It's a really interesting game.
Yeah, I have the beauty of playing a game and experiencing a game at the same time. Me and Natalie have got two big TVs next to each other. So everything like she does, sometimes I can just stop playing and watch.
Yeah. What I think is really weird about the first game is like in the final chapter, it's like the whole first like all the chapters make you feel like you're gonna have like a really like it splits off into multiple branches, and then when you get to the final decision, it's like, oh, nothing meant anything.
A lot of games are that,
like,
aren't they?
Yeah.
They have to make everything come together at some point.
Yeah, but it's a really interesting game for sure. The first one, and I hope more people play it.
Definitely. And the last announcement for the event was they showed off Project Athia again, and it has a new title, and they showed off some more gameplay. It's called where's the name? I forget. Where's it at? Tell me. Forspoken. It's called Forspoken, so it's not Project Athia anymore. It is Forspoken. It is coming out next year, 2022, for PS5 and PC. That's all so far. Maybe it'd be nice if it came out everywhere, but who knows? They showed off the lead actress. She seems proper British.
Bad accent.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll give you a 6.
Go ahead.
What I'm looking at right now, this game's like really pretty.
I've not seen it myself, to be fair.
Yeah, so towards the end they show more gameplay, and there's like some magic that they show. There's her like parkouring that they show. It seems pretty interesting. It definitely seems still new, like they're still developing this game. But we kind of get a snippet of an idea of what this game is.
And this is also a game Gary Whitta's rating.
That's true. Yes, I forgot. I forgot about that. All right. Anything else to say on Athia or Forspoken?
I hope it's good.
Yeah, I hope it's
There's
good.
A lot of games like that. Eric, looking at it right now, it reminds me of not a lot, but a little bit like Kingdom Bridge of Spirits. And I really love like this concept of like open world third person games. Like one of my favorite games is Breath of the Wild, and like I don't know, I just think a lot can be done in this like realm. Sure. And so if Project Athia and Kingdom Bridge of Spirits or anything like that, but their own thing, I think they'll be really fun and really good.
Especially with the talent of Square, right? Like they have a lot of talent. So yes,
nothing.
Okay. So I'm gonna give Connor an up next because I know he likes to say that. We're gonna talk about some more Game Pass games. Major Nelson had tweeted out a bunch of Game Pass games. One of them is very interesting. I'll just do a couple highlights. Again, Outriders coming out April 1st. Undertale is out now already on Game Pass. Empire's Sin launched today. Nier Automata is out today on PC Game Pass. Squadrons is coming out today. Let's see, any other notables? There's this game, Genesis Noir. I'm not sure what that is, but it's going to be out March 25th. Octopath is the big one.
This is insane.
It's a very big deal. And it's coming out March 25th to console and PC. Game Pass. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I'm just sorry. I want to take the floor for this 1 second. Like, for anybody who hasn't played this game, and I am not the guy that would ever have played this game, but I went out of my way, traveled quite far to buy this game for Nintendo Switch. Like, this game is phenomenal. I never finished it, but the art style, the story,
that's what I was gonna say.
It's incredible. Like, it was just too big for me to play. It was just too much of a tackle. But it's one of the proudest games I own. Like, it's something so out of my comfort zone, but I just enjoyed it. Like, I the turn-based I managed to get quite far into a certain story. I just really enjoyed it. And for it to come onto Game Pass and people to enjoy this game, please, like, if anybody's listening, please just play this game. Just download it. Get Game Pass. Pay. If you're new to an Xbox or like, I could like just get Game Pass and play this damn game. Thank you.
It's a very beautiful game. The music in it is amazing. I don't think I hear people talk about the music enough. Like, that music is great. The art is amazing. I'm not a JRPG guy.
No,
and I got pretty far into this game. I think I got all 8 of the protagonists. And then I was like, I don't know if I have the time to finish this game.
I definitely want to download it and just check it out at least.
Definitely, for sure. And it's that thing of like, even if you don't get into it, you can really respect the game for what it is. And it's like it's a great game, and people need to play it for sure. I think it's the same team that's doing that triangle strategy game on the Switch. I tried that game out, and it's really interesting. Cool. Very similar, but very different.
Yeah, they're definitely under Square. They're published by Square, but I'm not sure. I mean, they're Japanese, I'm sure. So let's talk about some PlayStation, shall we? So they did their PlayStation Home little thing. So they are going to give a bunch of games for free, which is pretty awesome. I'll give you a few of them. We got Abzu, The Witness, Subnautica is a great game. A few VR games. You got Astrobot, Moss, all going to be free. Just download.
Yeah, this is a really interesting list.
This makes me want to go to PlayStation.com and order myself the adapter for my PlayStation 5. Like,
I'm surprised.
Well, it's just this hassle in it. You've got to pick up the mouse, click the links, type in. Like, ugh, do you know what I mean? Just put it in the damn box.
Yeah, right. PlayStation is a very weird company. Like
I get it.
People think Nintendo's weird, and then like you get into PlayStation, it's like, oh, they're both very weird.
They're super Japanese and weird.
What's weird about this is that it says, unless I'm missing something, it says 10 games, but I only see 9.
Well, I was just going to get to that last one. The 10th game is going to be Horizon Zero Dawn.
I just saw it. Yeah.
Which is not until a little later, though. I think that's why they didn't post it in this picture, because these ones you could download now. I think Horizon has like a specific month of a window, I think in April.
Got it. Yeah, the Play at Home initiative is a very interesting thing, because it's like they had announced it like early pandemic. And
yeah,
it was a thing of like they announced it, they did it, and they didn't do anything with it until this month. Actually, you still have what, like 12 days, 13 days left to download Ratchet and Clank, 2016 on your PS4. They announced like that for March, and it was just crazy that this came back, and to see all these games coming to this initiative is really cool. And then Horizon Zero Dawn, which I can't get. I respect that game for what it is. I just can't get into it.
Oh, I love that game so much.
But yeah, check that game out when it comes out, because they're all for free.
Yeah,
it's
there's
free,
you don't need Plus. You don't need nothing.
Unless you don't have a PlayStation, you have no reason to not check.
Or internet. You might need internet. Yeah. If you have access to internet, that might be all you need.
Which, if you don't have internet, how are you listening to this?
That's very true. That's very true. They also did a bunch of indies, which was yesterday, I think. There wasn't really anything that stuck out too much to me. I'm not sure if you guys checked it out. If anything stuck out to you. Disco Elysium was the one. I do want to play that game, coming out March 30th.
I was just about to ask, when does that game come out? Because I remember kind of funny was like, oh, it's got release date. And I was like, what's the release date? Like, I need to know these things. I need to play this game. Like, this is one game I was really excited to play.
Yeah,
so March the 30th.
Mm-hmm. March the 30th.
Not long
there was that game, and then there was another game that kind of stuck out. Was it this one?
Was it the dog one that like drew all the pictures?
No, there was a cool 3D puzzle game I thought was interesting in VR. Where was the other one? Yeah, there was the food sound game. I don't know what that game was about. It's just a weird little indie showcase. It was nice to put these games on a pedestal for a little bit, you know.
Yeah, PlayStation have a weird way of announcing things. Like 2 weeks ago, it was the VR games. We're gonna release a game every half an hour. Who is sitting
there with bated breath?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't
like.
Okay.
It's weird.
Like
it's PlayStation. They're one of the weirdest companies. I don't know. It's super weird.
Imagine in 2 weeks' time, like, hi, PlayStation Blog just pops up. Hi, we're PlayStation Blog. Every half an hour, we're gonna announce a AAA game every half an hour, and it's like, oh, here's Spider-Man 3, here's God of War 2, here's this, and I was like, what are you doing? Stop it! Like, just put it all together, release nice trailers, and then just go away. Like, do you know what I mean? Like.
I mean, look how weird they are. We talking about the PlayStation VR stuff that they did. They just showed off the controller today. Like, why not do it all together and have like a VR event? I don't know if Caesar, if you've looked at the controller, they kind of showed off.
Really interesting, yeah.
It's exactly what I told Sims when he showed it to me first. Looks like a boxing glove. Looks like a UFC boxing glove.
I'm really impressed with it. Like. I'm very easily impressed. Like, I've got such a small mind.
Like, yeah, you like Marvel's Avengers.
Exactly. That's what people say. People say this all the time.
Thank you.
I also like. What other bad stuff do I like? I forgot.
Days Gone.
Days Gone. I'm a massive Days Gone fan.
I have a theory about Days Gone. Probably we can talk about that another day.
You don't like? Sorry, what?
No, I have a theory about Days Gone. It's like the reason it got such bad reviews is that they had to play it in such a short time period. But people that played it for a lot longer love that game.
100%.
So I think the amount of time you put in this game.
I just throw it at Sims.
Yeah, the review numbers, yeah.
That's another one of my favorite games of all time.
This controller is super weird. Like I was telling Sims, like I wonder if this control, like nobody's really gonna know until you get it in your hands. I've only played such a limited VR at all. Like my brother has 2 different headsets and he loves VR, so I got to try it at the house. But are these controllers? Do they feel good? Do they feel hefty? Are they cheap? Like I know that I like to play everything, right, Sims? You know that I'm not just an Xbox fanboy, but generally PlayStation things feel pretty cheap, especially the DualShock 4. It feels like a pretty cheap controller. So I hope I am definitely more impressed with my PS5 controller. It's not my favorite, but it does feel a little bit better than the DualShock 4.
Looking at the VR controllers, they look, because Sony is not stupid, especially like when they're trying to like design new things that would make something better. This looks like it would fit your hands comfortably. And looking at the design, I can understand why you would think it would be heavy, but it looks like it's lightweight. I think what the guards are for is
I was just wondering if it was going to be feel cheap. That was just kind of what I was getting.
Okay, but I think like what the guards are for definitely is like so you don't hit yourself with anything, and it's like I don't know.
Good point.
Really interesting.
That's a very good point about hitting things.
I played I've only played like I've got VR but it's always an experience thing. It's never I'm gonna play this game to the end. It's like, oh, let's play VR, get scared on the one of the horror games that came with it. And then move on, like, you know, there's just a couple of hours to kill. But I played Iron Man VR from beginning to end. I really enjoyed the flying mechanics. Like, I felt like Iron Man. I had a really good time. But there's one move you have to do in Iron Man where you have to like press a button and then and do that. Like you have to kind of frush your, like, you know, like whatever. And it was like one of the last missions. I'm like flying around like thinking I'm a bad man. Natalie recorded me. I did not.
I love VR because nobody looks good playing it.
No. Anyway, so I turn around and then there's this like drone because that's the only enemy you fight in Iron Man, and I just punched out and I punched my door. Oh my god! I'm
sure. Yeah. Great.
But no, I said this in a Twitter comment today. Like Iron Man was so good, but the amount of times I just nearly fell over because like. You're flying around. Next minute, I'm just like, I just completely lose all balance.
Immersed.
It's honestly like Iron Man was it's such a good game. Like it was such a good experience. Like I played it in like 2-hour chunks every day. Like I had such a good time with it. Really, really good.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, this VR though, these controllers look crazy. Like really, really cool. Like you just said, look really comfortable. Like you can move fingers in it. So I'm guessing all of that dome around it is all kind of sensors that'll read not.
I think what the dome is mainly for, I don't know if there's that much technology into it. I think what it's for is just so you don't hit your hand as often.
They did say you can move your fingers and.
Oh really?
Yeah. It said. I'm really excited. I said this earlier. I'm really excited for where PlayStation VR is, like having that not top of the range VR, but like good enough VR, and this will be better than what we've got. And then the experiences that we do get, like Astrobot, which I've not played, but had really good reviews. Moss again, not played, but really good experiences. Hopefully, we just get this comes out, you get an Iron Man 2 with it, and I'd happily pay £400 for it. That's just me. I like silly stuff.
All right, let's move on to our last story. Jade Raymond announced a studio called Haven. She calls it an independent studio. So with this story, that she is not owned by PlayStation, but she's making an IP for PlayStation.
Yeah. I fucking love this story.
It's such a weird story.
I love this story.
It's good for Jade Raymond. Awesome.
Did you like read her statement?
I didn't read the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's really funny because she takes like a jab at Stadia. It's like she said something like, "I'm really excited." Something to like the fucking. I'm really excited about the studio because now we can actually focus on games and like games in all caps. And so it's like
you could definitely tell there's a little anger.
You can tell there's a little like she's like a little upset. I wonder why. Which I understand where Stadia is coming from. They're trying to work on like the platform, but it's like should have had that figured out.
It is very complicated with Stadia.
Oh, sorry about that. Putting the microphone closer to me.
It's okay. So it definitely seems like a Kojima-like thing where he's not owned by PlayStation, so he could make an Xbox game or a Nintendo game if he really wanted to. Yeah. So it's very good for her and her team. I would like to know. Go ahead.
No, she said she's working because she had worked on like Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs Legion, and in her thing she's mentioned that she said she's gonna be working, or she's bringing in people that she has worked with in the past.
Okay, so, I didn't see that. I was gonna say
you would assume,
ex Ubisoft employees and
former Ubisoft, or I'm guessing a lot of people are gonna be like the people that were laid off from Stadia.
I'm sure she's gonna hire a bunch of them. Yeah, that'd be very wise.
This statement, this news, I don't think we would have heard this news if it wasn't for Jade Raymond.
Stadia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like her leaving that. If it was, it's kind of just Jade Raymond saying, "I'm here now.
I'm still in the industry.
Yeah, I'm still here. Don't worry about it." It happened
quite fast. That, yeah,
like happened quite fast.
She mentions that she's like after so many projects failing, people question like, do you think like the video games industry is for you? And she's like unwavering yes, like I 100%. I love this industry so much and I'll never leave it. And it's like
that's good.
All credit to the lady, like all credit to this lady. Like if someone kept kicking you, like if you've had so many projects and just cancelled, like I'd give up. That's in my character. That's in my character though. I'd be like, it's just not for me. Like things are just against me. But that's who I am. Like I'd just give up. Like I just like it's obviously not working.
It's not her fault either that Stadia just gave up on games. No. And she left EA and Ubisoft, so it's like that was on her. So it's like, yeah, it's a very interesting history she's had, but
it just
she has like control now.
It just seems like a statement that's only needed because he's attached to it.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's
good.
It's I wouldn't say it's a nothing statement. It didn't need to. Jade Raymond could have just said in a statement, "Oh, I'm working on something." I don't think
tweeted out. Yeah,
this didn't need. I want to say this didn't need to happen, but what do I know? Like everyone's getting excited for not nothing, but
I just think it's funny. Like,
yeah, it's just a jab in it. It's like fuck you, Stadia. I'm here now, and and I'm not going into my Stadia. I like what Stadia is, and hopefully it can work in a different way. Like if they just provided the service, and then left it at that, which I think that's what they're going to do now. I think
they're going to do that. Yeah. Which I think if they just worked on the service first and then brought in like the studios later on, it would have more success. But since they did the studios before,
I have my Stadia box right here, and it's got my controller. I got the Chromecast Ultra in there or whatever. Mm-hmm. I got that because I'm a Google Premium, YouTube Premium thing. Premium, yeah. Got it for free.
I wish I was YouTube Premium that month. Yeah.
A kind of funny best friend gave me one. He hit me up. He's like, "I've got one. You want me to get you one?" And I was like,
"I'm holding a relic over there."
I was blown away. Like, it was quite emotional actually. Like, I mean, this, like, we live quite local to me. Like, him to just say, "Do you want one?" Like, it just shows, like, you know, just the kind of funny the community, like, incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it was really nice.
And you're like, "Nah, man, I don't want another Ouya. I don't want
to." No, I even says, "Look, I even said I can't pick it up right now. Obviously, pandemic." He's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll drop it off. You know, we'll social distance." Yeah, it was quarantine really nice. Nice guy. Big shout out to TVs. Sorry.
Pretty sure. Yeah. So I hopefully we'll get to see her game soon. That's all.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, good for her. Good for her, man. Like, all the best for anybody who's down in the dumps or just things are not going right. Like, I hope everyone can get back on the feet. Like, I've been kicked so many times, and like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get back on your feet.
Definitely.
Not literally kicked.
When I see you, I'm kicking you when I see you.
Thanks, mate.
Please kick. Please
make it literal.
I've gone all the way to Texas to get booted in the ribs by seeing.
I will be the one filming it. So let's move on to what we've been playing. I have not been playing a lot, so I'll just go first real quick. I checked out this game on Switch called Genosha. It is, if you remember a couple directs ago, I think they did like a little indie direct or something. It's basically a visual novel mixed with Among Us / like werewolf / mafia. So it's a very weird premise of a game. Basically, so imagine playing like a game of Mafia with a bunch of characters, but you do it in like a loop. So it kind of has that like Returnal thing where you finish a game of Mafia and then you die or whatever happens, and then you do another one. It's just over and over again. And then there's like visual novel aspects. Mm-hmm. So the game is set up so weird. Like I like some visual novels when they kind of tell a good grand story. This game has some of that. I've done like 20 loops, so I guess I've played at 20 little games, and I've gotten very little story, and it's just not grabbing me in that sense. But you start a game, and there is like a initial talking aspect where you have like 5 rounds, and you have to figure out who the alien is, basically. And you can either have your person not talk or just kind of listen to what everybody else is saying. And after the 5 rounds, everyone goes to a voting thing, and then you vote on who you think the alien is. And there are different roles. There's like a doctor that can examine the dead bodies. There's what I think is an engineer that can like see what a person is, and they use those abilities during the talking phase. Then you vote, and then somebody basically goes into cryo sleep. They don't die. And these same bits, every time you do it, it's really repetitive. There's not a ton of new dialogue. There's a little, because they kind of slowly add more characters, which kind of helps. But I honestly was pretty disappointed. Like, it was a really cool premise, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to continue playing it. Like, I like visual novels. I was expecting more of, if you both have played Danganronpa before. Danganronpa's an awesome game. But it actually has a game to it. You can walk around the school in Danganronpa.
But this game doesn't?
No, there is nothing else. It is literally... So there is a section in between each like round phase where you can like talk to people, but you just are clicking things. That's it. You don't get to do anything. That part you kind of get a little different conversation because you choose one person and you kind of talk to them. But there isn't a ton of like in between each loop that I do a big story beat. It's usually not. It's usually just go on to the next loop. Let's just do it again. And I don't know. A little disappointed.
It didn't sound good, so I kind of don't. I don't want to know anymore. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be rude. Like
especially if you're just like really down on it, you're just like I didn't like it. It's like I don't really know if I want to hear about it. It just doesn't sound like a game I'm interested in. Period.
Do you like visual novels? Did you play Danganronpa?
No, I don't. I've the only like visual novel I have experience with is Doki Doki Literature Club, but that's an experience.
Okay,
that's like
I would like to play that one. If you both are looking to play one, I'd either say Danganronpa or 13 Sentinels, which came out last year. I played it in January. Really great game. I'd say play those because there is way more to those games, way more narrative. This game just needed more narrative in the front, I think, and it would have helped. And needed much more talking before we get into this loop phase because it just jumps you there's a little bit of a tutorial, but it kind of just jumps you in to just keep doing this loop, different alien every time basically. And there was a cool part, like I think it was like the 8th loop, I was the alien, so I got to choose who would die. I'm not the detective, I'm trying to throw people, and I thought that introduced something a little different, but like it just wasn't enough story really. So
right.
Caesar, what have you been playing?
I'm very boring when it comes to games. I stream every now and then, but I don't really my downtime. I don't really play a lot of games. Recently what I've been playing, I've checked out the new season of Fortnite, which we talked about. It's very confusing, very interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna stick around this season much. I mean, I got the battle pass, so I gotta commit so much. Like,
what is the new promotional skins for this one? Like up front, are they good?
Lara Croft is the big one.
Oh, okay, that's sure. Yeah, okay.
That's the big battle pass skin. Raven from Teen Titans is another skin.
Cool.
Yeah, it's part of the battle pass. And this is a weird one. So recently they've been doing like a secret skin for battle passes, or it's like you don't really know what it is until like halfway through the season or whatever. One season they did Deadpool, another season they did Wolverine, this last season they did Predator. So it's like, oh, these really cool like IPs are gonna be like the secret skin. What's this season's gonna be? Neymar Jr. Like a soccer football player, like a World Cup superstar. Fucking why?
Because he's gonna kick that soccer ball at people's heads.
When was that announced? Like what? I didn't know about that. Like,
it's in the battle pass. It's in there. Neymar Jr. is like,
as in, like the overrated footballer.
Yeah.
They did that whole NFL thing where they had the jerseys.
They have NFL skins and they have football. There you go.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, so they that makes sense, I guess, in a way. Like they have YouTubers, so why not Neymar? I don't know.
Yeah, Neymar is a really big name, but it's also like,
yeah, why not Ronaldo?
I'm not buying the battle pass for Neymar. Maybe Pelé, because Pelé is iconic.
What about Namor?
No.
Okay, nothing. Just nothing.
I don't understand it. Like,
he's a hero. He's like the Marvel version of Aquaman. Namor.
See, that's how iconic he is. He's not.
He's not. He's not cool.
What about Telephone Man?
Yeah, exactly. Multiple Man.
But yeah, it's a really weird season. It's like makes me a lot of questions. Like why? What were they smoking when they made the season? Is what I'm
that
thinking.
good shit. Let me tell you.
I want some of it.
I don't know. The game. I'd say the game's aimed for boys, but my 8-year-old is Fortnite champion. And she's a girl. But it's not, is it? So I don't know. Like, use the Neymar name to get.
It's a thing. It's like I was talking about this on stream, and somebody brought up. It's like playing with your toys as a kid.
Yeah,
like that's what Fortnite is. It's like it's just like, I think it was probably you. It was like it's just like they have these characters like Predator, Terminator, Aliens, and then Master Chief, and then Kratos and Iron Man, Thor. So many like Batman, Harley Quinn, Neymar. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, that's why when you mentioned it, I was like, hold on, it doesn't make sense. It's
like a toy box, but it's like, yeah.
Going to Fortnite, like Daniel's not the biggest fan of Fortnite. I personally like my daughter loves it. Like play either this, like Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, and she'll play with her friends. She'll have a good time. She's like,
so you have like some kind of understanding of what's going on.
She like, I try and have an understanding of everything that's going on. Like I try as much as I can. I'll absorb anything. But like, she started on the Xbox, and then like she saw me have this new PC, and she was like, "Dad, can I have got on the PC?" I was like, "Yeah, but it's really complicated. You like, it's even I can't do it." She is phenomenal on this mouse and keyboard. I mentioned
gotta get started.
Honestly, man, I've seen she bends her fingers in ways I didn't know she could. Like, and she's like cranking them like soggy 90s. Like she hates the word soggy. Like the kind of funny mate. Take the face soggy 90s.
That's what they say. Yeah.
Well, I was like, I was like convinced as like what they call it. So I was like, Hope, do you like? Are you cranking them soggy 90s? She's like.
No, nobody calls them soggy 90s.
They're not soggy 90s, Dad. No,
360 no scope. Where are my 360 no scopes?
They're just 90s.
Like, but no, I'm like to watch her play the game is phenomenal. Going to Fortnite, I was trying to make the point of I have so much respect for Fortnite. I love the Fortnite for me has changed the whole world, like changed the gaming landscape because everything now has something that Fortnite has, and that Daniel hates the fact that I say that. But like your battle passes and etc. Like it is all in. It's
influenced a lot of stuff.
And I get Daniel's point where like every new game now looks like Fortnite art style. The battle royale, that fucking stupid dodgeball game. I hate. I don't get me started on that dodgeball game.
Oh, Knockout City.
Oh my god! Like the trailer just knocked me like so bad. I love the game. I don't play it. I'm not very good at it, but it brings joy to my daughter. And like every the buying the battle pass Tuesday for watching her have a good time on it. I appreciate the game. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a fun. I don't play it seriously. I don't take it too seriously. No, but it's like there are people that do take it super seriously. Which is why, like, if I ever came across your daughter in the battlefield and she started cranking soggy 90s, I'd be like, just kill me. I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna. It's like an 8-year-old knocking out a 21-year-old. Like sure.
It scares me though. Like she's 8 years old now. Like, and she's relatively good. Like okay. Like, for an 8-year-old. Well, like, what's she gonna be doing when she's cranking out soggy 90s at 14, 15?
Yeah, get her on that. Get her on an esports team, man.
That is my last chance. I'm 30 years old. I've gave up.
You're not gonna do it, so she's gonna do it for you.
Like, so when she's like, "Dad, we're going to Portland. We're gonna go to esports." I don't know why Portland, and I'm like, "Okay, let's go." Of all the cities in the States, it's like I need my lucky keyboard.
Have you been playing any games?
Haven't been playing.
Do you have anything else to say? I mean, you could.
No, I was gonna say like. Imagine like having yourself as a parent when you're a kid, and just like the shit you probably could get away with, or like the stuff you could be doing. Like I don't know, like it's just like the understanding you have of what you like is different to like what your parents had an understanding of what you like. I don't know.
Definitely.
Because like if your daughter one day told you like she wants to be like on an esports team, you'd probably be like very understanding and like probably
100%
even help her get there too. So it's like just imagine like if you were your daughter. Like how lucky you would be. I don't know. That's what
you know what you're saying, because I remember my mum would buy me PlayStations to shut me up. Like that was it. Like,
yeah,
you have this, go away. Like that, and it's just one of those. But for her, like I'm always encouraging her. Like as I always say to her, like you've got everything you need. Like she can record it. Like she's not legally allowed to stream, so it's like if you want to, if you want to knock out some content, like. We can do that, like, but then obviously nerves. Same with me, like I was about to host a show. I started hosting. Daniel taking over. The nerves. I just haven't got. I've got the nerves for it, but I'm also trying to run the stream as well. So I'm also trying to run everything as well. Daniel, thank you for taking over. I don't know when it comes to like having to like perform. I get like some weird anxiety. Like plus I'm very tired. So, but no, I know what you're saying. Like imagine like your parent. I know explaining it is harder than saying it, but make a good point. Like I'm so supportive of her. Like if she wants, the understanding is as long as she's doing good at school, she can come home, have her dinner, and then she can go play the game and play Fortnite or Minecraft or whatever. But watching her, like like my mouse has like these like a button that changes the cursor speed, and like she's got it like full crank. And I put the mouse, like, you know, when I'm like coming upstairs to like edit a video, and the next minute it's just fucking flying across the screen. It's like, Jesus Christ. And she's cranking out 90s, soggy ones. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Fortnite.
Have you been playing anything else?
As far as what else I've been playing, I just started getting into Resident Evil 7 Remake. I mean, no, not fuck.
Resident Evil 7?
Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7. It's fine. I like it. It's cool. I never played the original one, so I don't have like that kind of nostalgia for it.
No.
And I'm at that part where it's like, you know, it's like still getting there. It's still like it's amping up. Like I just met Tifa not that long ago. We went to the town and we're doing that stuff, and Barrett had just told me like he doesn't want me to be a part of the team. That part.
You're still pretty.
So I'm still like at the very beginning of it. I'm guessing. So I still have a lot to go, but yeah, it's fun. I like it. It's cool. I
felt the same as you at that point, because I say I was peer pressured into buying it, because I never had nostalgia for the first one. I always know Final Fantasy VII is the great. You know, people say Final Fantasy VII the greatest game of all time, like one of the best games, like period. Like there was no argument. And then the remake came out, and I was like, I'm not gonna play it. I've never played a Final Fantasy. Never had, and I tried, failed miserably at playing Final Fantasies. And then we were doing the podcast. I was like, well, we may as well all talk about it. I'll try and play it. And I got to where you were. And I was kind of feeling the same. Like, oh yeah, kind of weird. Like Barrett's angry. Tifa's, I don't know, Tifa. Don't get what the big
Tifa's
deal
hot,
is. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. And then all of a sudden, after a bit, it just clicked, and I was like, this game's incredible. There was something about it.
The battle system's great.
Yeah,
it's fun. My issue with it is that like there are just certain games where you should stream, and there are certain games where you shouldn't stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm at a point with it. It's like I don't know.
This is a game you are streaming.
I'm streaming it, yeah.
Okay.
So it's like I don't know if I'm at a point right now where it's like I don't know if I should finish it on stream or I should just like play on my own time. Or I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But it's fun. I enjoy it.
If you want, my suggestion would be to let the take it slower, so maybe not on stream. Let the game soak in. You want the music, because this music is one of the greatest soundtracks.
I take my time with it for sure. I don't rush through it. That's my thing. When people come to my streams, they're not coming for like top tier gameplay. It was like they're just watching me as I would play a game.
They're not coming for the soggy 90s.
They're not coming for the soggy 90s. They're in the wrong place for anything soggy 90s. Soggy something. Maybe not 90s. Anything else I'm playing? I'm replaying through Spider-Man, which is just so much fun.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really playing much right now.
Okay. What are like? It doesn't have to be what you've been playing. Are you making anything content wise or?
Oh, just patch notes.
I noticed you've got something behind you with loads of names on it.
Oh, those are my Twitch subs.
Okay.
So it's like
shout out to your Twitch subs.
What?
I said shout out to all your Twitch subs.
There's more over there. But like these are my Twitch subs. They either subscribe for like 1 month or the current subscribe or something like that. Like if you subscribe, your name just goes on that wall.
Yeah, shout out to all them.
Yeah, we're patch notes. We're making new stuff. My birthday's March 23rd. We're gonna announce a new show for patch notes. But it's like
cool.
It's very interesting like concept because it's like the recording schedule is like uneven, so it's like a pilot for a show. But yeah, we'll just see. We're just gonna see how it goes.
That's how we started though. I don't know if you know the premise. Like with us, like Daniel in a kind of funny Reddit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was like, anybody want to do a podcast? And I was like, well, I want to do a podcast. Like it's all I bought all this setup for like. I was gonna go into streaming. I started the streaming, and then I felt like you did with the Final Fantasy. I was like, I kind of just want to enjoy it. I got to a point where like I'd have to stream after work. The kids are always running around, and like my gaming time is like my time. That's like my favorite like wind down time. Like that's something I've doing.
Yeah.
Like, and I just want to play it in my pants, lying down. You know what I mean? Chocolate dust all over me. And just, and embrace it that way. And I just couldn't get into the streaming thing and
there's a certain mindset. There's like a certain mindset when you stream, yeah.
And like, so I kind of knocked it on the end. I was like, well, I really want a podcast. Like, I just want to talk about video games. I could talk about video games and soggy 90s all day long. Anyways, Daniel came along. He was like, "Hey, do you want to do a podcast?" Like Daniel put out a word. Do you want to do a podcast? Yeah, I'll do a podcast with you. Then Connor came along. We'll do a podcast, and then we literally like had the most awkward Discord chat ever. Hello, and then Daniel was like, "Hello." Like, hello.
I sound like
yeah,
that?
you do now, for sure.
Okay.
So, and then it was like, right, well, we want to do this. So how are we gonna do it? Like, why don't we just like start with a pilot? Like, let's talk about our favorite games. Try and get like some kind of like mojo. And then it was like a static screen. We weren't looking at each other. Daniel was on his phone. Connor was on his phone. I had the computer. I was looking at a computer. And then 58 episodes in, like Daniel doesn't own a computer, but he he pays for the podcast. Like he pays for the podcast thingy about RSS feed, right? That's cool. Connor spent stupid money on a computer. And then like we were all in this like one schedule, Thursday 6 o'clock on the dot my time, and then 58 episodes in, like we're better, we know each other, we know when we know what each other's dislikes, like it all just gels. Like,
and stuff like that. Like it takes time to establish like
100%
rapport like that, or it either takes time or you just click immediately. Like it's one or the other. And yeah, I'm very happy you guys were able to like establish yourselves.
Yeah.
But the show we're making, it's a show that's like I don't know who's watching, so I don't want to like say anything about it yet. Because it's like something people have been asking for a while. But it's interesting because it's like the recording schedule would be really weird because it's like each episode depends on like our resources, like how we can record it. So it's like it's not like a weekly like podcast type of thing. It's a show. we're working on a show. It's like,
can we talk about this off stream?
Yeah, sure.
Can we
okay. Sure. Don't say as much or as little as you want. There's no.
But it's just very different. Like,
but different
from a channel that does like video game news content. It's very different for that. I'll say that much right now. So it's like we're just trying to expand what we do.
Honestly, man, keep going. Like just knocking out. We had like behind the scenes today. Like we had big plans to react to the Square Enix thing. Like, I was really looking forward to it. Like sent Connor some assets to record on his side OBS, but like he hasn't got the best knowledge of OBS. I don't have the best knowledge of OBS. I'll let you into a secret. Natalie down the stairs does most of it. Like me I had to build this OBS overlay today. It's probably like wonky. She's probably looking at it downstairs like this is wrong. So what are you doing?
Just words. I'm dating. Gotta break up with him.
That's it. She thinks that every day. Honestly. I wake up. She's like, "Look at you, mess." I'm like, "I know."
Before we talk about what you've been playing, Sims, Connor said he finally beat the Man-Eater boss in Dark Souls. So he did beat Man-Eater, which I think was the boss he got to last week.
He said to me yesterday in a private chat. He says, so for context, Caesar, Connor, we all hate Souls games. We never want to play them. We don't like them.
Star Wars games?
No, Souls games. Star Wars games, yes, I dislike the last one. But no, we were
Souls games.
Yeah, we were like it wasn't our. Let's say it wasn't our cup of tea. Anyway, so for some daft reason, like Connor got really high one day and decided to play Demon Souls, and he fell in love with it, and so he's on this journey, and this is like my favorite part of the episode where he just tells you about his journey, and yeah, so he said to me last night, he says he beat this boss after 4 days. How that sounds awful, doesn't it? Just
it's a long time for one boss.
So
all right, James, what have you been playing?
Congratulations, Connor. I know you're listening.
Yeah,
that's gotta be like some end game stuff for it to take that long.
Oh,
like, are you kidding me? Like,
yeah,
like that's gonna be like Champions Road. That's gonna be like the final, like, past the final game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Beating like Dark Bowser or something.
Connor says in the chat, I prefer the term stoned. I sounds like I'm on coke. Okay, he was stoned.
Both mean the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just semantics at this point. So what have you been playing, Sims?
My busy life, I don't get. So normally I talk about the same game for about 3 weeks. So I'm currently playing 2 games, which really takes me out of my comfort zone. I like to focus on one thing and one thing only. First of all, Caesar, I'm playing Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time on my 3DS. I say my 3DS, Natalie's 3DS, and I'm having a good time with it. I owned it as a kid in the N64, like I said last week, and I only ever got to like maybe the second dungeon as a kid, and then kind of just like couldn't figure it out, and then all lost interest with my short attention span as a 10-year-old novice, not cranking saggy 90s. But now I'm playing it with a guide, literally holding my hand, like every video. I forgot to mention this. This guide I'm watching is 11 years old. And back in the day, apparently on YouTube you could only do 10-minute videos. So this guide is like 10-minute videos. There's 84 videos of this guide. But no, yeah, I've got to Adult Link. I've got he's shown me where all the Skatulas are. He's shown me where all the items are that I need. I've got like 15 hearts. I'm just having a good time, and I've just done the first dungeon as an adult in the forest temple. Yeah, like I'm just having a good time. It's literally just like if I can't be bothered to put the PlayStation on, I'll just lie there with the 3DS. When I start smashing out that ocarina, or like I open the chest, I just turn the volume up, and it's like I said it last week. The noises are just like crack cocaine. It's just so good to hear. Like Zelda just
the nostalgia feel right there. It
so
makes
nice.
You feel good.
It's just so nice.
What I found about like Nintendo games, even if you've never played them, you have a nostalgia for them. It's like you just feel like you're at home when you play a Nintendo game, especially like one like Wii era or before, for sure. Like they just like have that.
They definitely have a magic sauce.
Yeah,
and they always feel good. Like I don't know, like this Zelda feels like a game day, minus the not having the camera to spin around yourself. That's the only thing that. That's when but that's when you know you're like, oh, you're old, aren't you? I forgot. And I am playing Watch Dogs Legion as a man from the UK. This game always like tickled my. Like I'm gonna stick with it. Like it always tickled my fancy. And now I've kind of got. I moaned about it last week, Caesar. Like the accents have just thrown me off. Like there was this like nice little Asian lady, construction worker, went to recruiter. I expected a soft-spoken voice, like, "Hello, how are you? Are you okay? I'm a construction." You know what I mean? Something along them lines. And I was like, "Hi, you up, mate? You want to join Dead Set?" And then she's like, "Nah, bruv, you want to join Dead Set? Get it, yeah, fam." And I was like, "Hold on a minute." I was just like, fair enough, you're from London, but like you kind of you're over the top. It kind of just threw me for a loop, and all the voice acting is trash, like all of it. Like, and I have a massive like thing with like there's no main protagonist. Like, it's absolutely all of it trash. Like, but I've got that Ubisoft source and that Ubisoft. I've got that Ubisoft trance of like, oh, there's things on the map.
Gotta clear the map.
Yeah, that's it, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I've cleared the map, and then like as a construction worker, you get this drone that you can call, and you can stand on the drone and just fly across the whole of London.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one troubles you, no one bothers you. Like the game kind of runs like trash, like because as you can see, the game just trying to load in like street, like I don't know, like sector by sector. So you can just see you can see like the traffic like come in and out, speed up. It's a bit messy. But I've cleared the map. The drone makes it 1,000 times easier. Done a couple of the missions. Cute little puzzles. I've got it on easy mode. Like I play a lot of games on easy mode due to just time. Like I literally sit down at 8:00. I'm asleep for 10. Like weekends, I probably crank out 4 hours. This is why Stardew Valley was so special because it just like oh, it's 2:00 in the morning. Oh, where did that go? Like and oh man, that music, man, I miss it so much. Stardew Valley. The dog, though. The dog. Move. The dog was always in the way. Always in the way.
I love about Stardew Valley is that you can have kids and they're useless. They don't grow up. They just take up space. Like I would love for them to like do is like have like the kids do stuff. Like say like for example like the girl gets older and a certain age she starts like feeding the animals.
Yeah.
Or like the boy like waters the plants and stuff like that. Like that'd be useful. Like that'd be cool for them.
Hopefully,
to
like is it
run around?
Is it still one person developing this game though? Or has he got
a
team?
Still Eric.
We need to I'm trying to reach him. I just like listen. Can you just fix this one bug? Because if it gets fixed tomorrow, every day I click the button, I click the place, put the PlayStation on, click Stardew Valley, check for updates, no updates, check the patch notes, nothing. Because if they just fix it, we'll play it more. Like I miss the farm, I miss my horse, I miss my pig farm. You don't understand. But no, back to Watch Dogs. I'm just going around collecting stuff. I'm gonna go to the story. I'm gonna clear all the map as much as I can. There's some tech icons. It's just a really.
Why not? If you're not enjoying it, just move on to it.
I am enjoying it. I just don't
clearly hate this game so much.
It's when they start talking. I'm just like, ugh.
Oh, it's Tuesday, ain't it, bruv?
Exactly.
Nah, fam.
It's Tuesday. Nah, bruv. Bottle water.
Exactly. Here, Sims. I want us to move on. I want you to say two things for me. Bottle of water. Go ahead.
What normally?
What? Oh,
just
say it.
A bottle of water.
Now say bucket of water.
Bucket of water.
Okay, thank you.
That's for research.
Have I just been pro?
Tuesday in your prep.
Tuesday.
Yeah. I just put a chip into your brain, and I'm gonna say that again, and it's just gonna activate, and then you're gonna be like your soldier.
What other words would you associate with British people then?
I mean, bottle is the best word.
Bottle.
Yeah. Is it Saturday?
Saturday.
I like
Saturday in like 5 different ways.
Saturday.
I like bottle and proper.
Proper.
I love it. Yeah.
Proper. What was we? Stop! I feel like this is for the past 3 weeks we've had people from the UK so you're our first American guest. So these guys are loving it now. I feel so outnumbered.
All right. Before we end the show, we're gonna play a nice game. We're gonna play some 20 questions. We didn't get to play it last week. We are gonna play it this week. And I have the game pulled up right here. And I am ready. So what we do you know how to play 20 questions? Caesar.
I assume I answer questions.
Yes. You ask questions. The one rule that we do differently is that I will give you all 20 questions just to guess, and then you get a final guess after that. Instead of keeping that final guess in it, I don't do that.
It was 21 questions.
Basically 21 questions, but 20 questions. And I have the game ready. Whenever you guys are ready, go ahead.
All right.
I don't normally goes first.
Sims does not like going first.
Wait, do I go first?
Yeah. I can't go first. Connor normally goes first, so you're Connor today. So you need to sort it out. No pressure.
No pressure.
I hope.
So I just give you guys I just do
any question.
Something, anything.
You were just trying to guess the game that's in his tiny little brain, and he has to.
That's on my screen too.
I'm trying to think.
What would help you figure out the game?
Is this game? I'll do it. Did this game come out?
Okay, I got it.
Go. You want to go? Have you got a question?
Just ask a question. Sims, ask a question.
Did this game come out?
Are we asking you, David, or Daniel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Did this game come out before the year 2000? Sorry.
I'm bad when it comes to games and instructions.
No, it's okay. So you guys are going to ask 20 questions to figure out what this game is.
Did this game come out before the year 2000?
Did it come out before 2000? It did not come out before 2000.
After year 2000.
Is this game made by a third-party studio?
Is it made by a third-party studio? It's actually a very interesting question. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Is it made by a third-party studio?
Produced, developed, yeah.
Yes.
Keep going. I'm just.
Does this game have a female protagonist?
I can't answer that question.
Why not?
So then that's a free question. Then that's it.
Yeah, I can't.
He just makes the rules up. He's
It's not making the rules up. I basically gave you a free thing. I cannot answer that question.
Connor, Connor's in the chat. I'm gonna ask him. Connor, ask a question. Like you can play this game with us. Fuck it. Is this game?
Is it a multiplayer game?
There is multiplayer in it.
Okay.
Is this game been? Is this game?
Is this game an exclusive?
Is the game exclusive? This might be a little bit of a debate. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Connor,
the fact that the debate makes it interesting to me.
What was the question? Sorry.
Is it exclusive?
And you answered.
Exclusive. It could be a bit of a debate. I would say no.
Oh, is this game got Lara Croft in it?
No. She asked about the protagonist.
I'm out. You're on your own, Caesar. See you in a bit. Bye.
It's not 15 questions. It could be anything.
You got plenty of questions.
Was this game made or released actually after 2010?
After 2010, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Is this game a Game of the Year contender?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Does this have multiple playable characters?
Playable? No. He only plays one character.
But he couldn't answer the female protagonist. I don't get it. That's the one that hurts my feelings. Caesar.
I'm thinking.
Use that beautiful hair of yours.
I'm thinking.
Look at it. It's beautiful.
Let's see. Is it made by? No. I'm trying to think. Is this an action game?
No, it's not an action game.
No? Okay. All right. Is this... Sorry if you hear yelling. That's my sister.
I didn't hear it. It's okay.
Multiplayer aspects, but mostly single player.
Not Avengers.
Can't really answer the previous question. Can you play as an animal?
Can you play as an animal? No.
No.
That's 10.
Okay.
Do you play as a human?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't answer that question.
So that's a no. Is it made by an indie studio?
I would say yeah. I'd say they're an independent.
Okay. Well,
So
is this a beloved game? Oh, wait, you said Game of the Year contender, right? Okay, never mind. Forget that.
It doesn't always mean beloved.
Fair. Is it beloved?
You're not a woman. You're not a person. So you're like. You could be a spaceship. You could be.
Oh, is this a platformer?
Yeah. There's platforming in it. I don't know if I consider it just a platformer.
Did this game come out after the year 2015?
After 2015, no.
So we've got 5 year span there.
5 years. Yeah. Is this a 2D game?
No, it's not 2D.
Okay. Shooter?
No shooting.
5 questions left.
Okay. Did this game come out in 2015?
No.
You really wasted a question though.
Yeah, I do this. All right, then I don't know. Connor tells me off as well.
Here, I will tell you this. I think from the information you have so far, you could probably get it in 4 questions. I want you guys to succeed. I don't pick.
Is it a puzzle game?
Is it a puzzle game? I wouldn't say it's a puzzle game, but there are puzzles in it. Kind of.
The other day, I was listening to our podcast, and I called you a smarmy prick during this quiz. My point stands. I hate you so much. No.
What did I do?
Caesar, tell him you hate him.
I need to know what the game is before I can make that assessment, but it's not going well for you.
Oh no!
Because you're going with you're doing a lot of technicalities. Like, is it human? I don't know. Is it? It's like no, yes or no.
Once you guys know what the game is, then I can tell you more.
So
excuse me.
Platforming elements, puzzle elements.
Is it
3D?
Is it? Do you? Is it? As it?
Do you ever? What you could do?
Connor, what's the studio called? Connor, what's the place called? Connor's onto something. Connor.
There's not much. I can't tell you much.
Connor's right as well. I think he's right. Have you seen the you in the chat, aren't you, Caesar?
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
He's right though, because like you don't. It was exclusive because Limbo was on the Xbox.
The game is not in 2D.
Yeah, he said that. Oh, is it like a horror game?
Is it a horror game? No.
Like, is it scary? No.
No.
Okay, so there goes my guess.
Like you don't play as a human. You don't. Connor says, "Oh, fuck off, Daniel."
I'm looking. He does not say that.
It was.
Oh, he says it. I see it.
He says it right there in black and white, kid. Let me tell you.
4K. Let me see.
Two more questions.
I hate this game.
And then a guess.
Yeah.
Well, let me do some research.
Hey, be light on that research.
He's like, let him do it. He's fine. He's a guest. He gets guest permissions. I'm not looking.
No, I'm trying to think of like, okay, go like attributes. So when we asked like exclusive, right? And you said maybe debate. Could that come?
I said I wouldn't say it's an exclusive.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't say it, yeah.
But he might have had that like. Is this why I thought it was Tomb Raider? Obviously, Xbox had that. Oh, is it? I don't know.
Is this a very memorable? Oh no, this is a very iconic franchise.
Iconic franchise?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's an iconic franchise.
Okay.
Definitely not that kind of.
2010 to 2015. Yeah. If it's not iconic, it's definitely not Portal.
2010, 2015.
How many questions do we have left?
One more question left. and then a guess. One more question and a guess. I think you guys have a lot of good information.
Clearly not.
Maybe nail.
No, don't give us a clue. Oh no, come on.
Okay. One more question. Then you gotta guess.
You have the last question.
You said not iconic, right?
It's not an iconic franchise.
But it's a Game of the Year contender, like 2010 to 20.
I'm trying to think.
14.
You said 2015.
So not iconic, but Game of the Year contender. So we can cross out Arkham because that's like very iconic.
It's Batman.
Cross out GTA 5.
3D.
3D platforming aspects, no shooting.
Puzzle.
Try to think.
Game of the Year contender. Don't know what you are.
Not iconic. So not Mario.
Don't know what you
are.
You're a human. You're not a woman. You
single player but multiplayer aspects. That's another one. Totally forgot about that.
Is it a Souls game?
You want to ask that question?
As well.
I doubt it because there are multiplayer aspects.
Yeah, but
to
Demon
it,
Souls
so
and Dark Souls have
this
that.
game has multiplayer aspects.
And you can play.
Okay.
Is it a Souls game?
It is not a Souls game.
Okay.
That's 20. Now you got to guess. What do you think this game is? I think you have enough. I think you have enough knowledge. If you might be able.
Well, yeah, you're the one that made the question. Like you would think that.
Tell him, Caesar.
Yeah,
you tell him.
You know the answer.
I know the answer. I'm saying from what you guys have asked, I think you have enough information to get the game.
I'm trying to think. By think, I mean I'm reading.
Like, you're the only person I think that is.
He's the only one that's actually thought about doing it. Like, if anything,
well, you should be, but you should be able. You should be doing it, but I will let Caesar do it. You should just be doing off your knowledge.
We don't have any knowledge.
I have horrible knowledge.
2010, 2014. Because I asked if it was out in 2015, so he said no. So it's 2010. Maybe before the year 20. Yeah. 2010, 2014.
Do you guys give up? I can tell you the game.
I will take a shot. I don't know much about this game. I know people love it, but I don't hear many people talk about it. Mass Effect.
You guys can talk. You guys can talk between each other.
He's already guessed. What is it? Mass Effect. He said Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
Is that the official guess between you two?
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Okay. It isn't Mass Effect because that is a part of a franchise. The game was released in March 12th for the PlayStation 3. It is Journey, created by that game company.
I would never guess that.
You had every the exclusive bit is because it also came to PC and it came to mobile. So
I would never guess that because I never heard of that game before.
You never
Journey?
heard of Journey
from that game company. Wow.
By your vibe,
there's a good.
You might enjoy it. You might enjoy it. It's very, very chill.
I just miss a lot of PlayStation games because I was always in Nintendo growing up. So it's like, I just miss a lot of PlayStation stuff.
So you don't know what you play in this game. That's basically it. It is just a figure. That's it. You don't know if you're a human, an alien, male, female, whatever. You, like an animal. You could be an animal. You could have a tail. I don't know.
Nat, why didn't you say anything?
Oh, thank you, Connor. It was a good pull. Well, that was the episode. That was episode 58 of the podcast. Please go to our podcast services. We're there now. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube. Please subscribe. Please comment.
Where can we find Mr. C?
Me at twitter.com/CeasarTowers. It's twitter.com. You know that. At CeasarTowers. Or you can find patch notes on YouTube. Well, you can't really search patch notes because it's really hard to find. Go to Twitter, patch notes vids, or Linktree, link tr.ee/patch notes. You'll find your weekly roundup on the video game news you need to know about in 15 minutes or less. And yeah, just hopefully we can see you around and
we'll definitely have
make
you
your
back
week a little better.
100%.
Oh yeah, this is a lot of fun. Anytime you guys want me back, I'm 100% down.
Great, man.
Yeah. We'll put all your links in the description as well. Your Twitter. Yeah. Well, that was and thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
No problem.
See you later, guys. Thank you very much. Everybody, stay safe.